In this presentation, you'll learn about working in a kindergarten program in South Korea. First, let's talk about what a hagwon is. A hagwon is a word that you'll probably hear when you're doing research on South Korea. It's a private school that normally teaches one subject and provides an educational experience with a more intense focus than is possible in the public school system. Many students in Korea go to Hogwarts to excel in particular subjects such as math, dance, martial arts, music, and foreign languages, and in particular English. English language Hogwarts serve as an important part of the country's drive to prepare young people for a global economy, serving many thousands of students annually. The history of teaching in Hogwarts in South Korea is actually fairly old. However, the history of teaching English to children in private language schools in Korea is relatively short. Beginning in the late 1990s, large educational corporations who had the ability to create comprehensive programming and curriculum from kindergarten to middle school began developing franchise models which have been implemented over the course of the last 2 decades. Most private language schools in Korea are affiliated with a name brand school, such as SLP, Avalon, or ECC. Again, as you're doing your research, you may start to see these names popping up. These are just 3. There are many different school franchises that you'll probably learn about. These large educational companies provide a range of resources to teachers, including organized curriculum, professional development, and marketing. However, because each school is led by its own director and management team, programming and overall quality of instruction can vary from school to school. It's crucial when evaluating the possibility of working at a particular school that you consider information about the individual branch of the school only. For example, you may see a negative posting on a social media site that names a particular brand. Whatever the criticism is, it likely applies to only one branch of the franchise. And this is where working with a recruiter can come in very handy, especially someone who has a deep understanding of the industry and also the local business culture. That can help you sort through some of these kinds of questions you may have that come up about schools. Not all schools are part of a large chain. There are schools that we call boutique schools, and some of these are in Seoul or in other cities as well, but the difference is that they're individually owned and operated private language schools for children. So it's possible that you could work in an individually owned and operated private language school, although it's more likely that you'll work in a school that's part of a larger chain of schools or franchise system. Teacher Tech specializes in placing teachers in Hogwarts that focus on teaching English to children. In English, these are called private language schools. After nearly 20 years of placing teachers in Korea, Teacher Tech has developed strong partnerships with a range of private language schools throughout the country. Students range in age from 4 to 7 in the kinder programs. Students attend full-time, 5 hours per day. Because students don't go to any other school, since there's no public kindergarten in Korea, they're at the school for quite a few hours. And this is because public school begins at first grade, and again, not at kindergarten in South Korea. The goal is obviously to teach English, and the curriculum is developmentally appropriate. So it's going to include a lot of things like activities related to music, art, physical education, field trips, cultural celebrations, and other things. The teaching schedule will have you working from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, so a daytime schedule. The focus is on preschool kinder until 2 p.m., and the rest of the afternoon you'll work with younger elementary students. Elementary students are part-time students attending public elementary school during the daytime, and then they spend roughly 1 hour per day learning English. Each school facility will have classrooms, of course, and a range of other facilities, including a library, a gym, a playground, an auditorium, and often computer labs. Each school will also have a teacher's room, and teachers will have their own classroom for the kindergarten students. Whether schools are part of a large chain or an individual boutique school, you'll be provided with a curriculum, textbooks, and other educational materials. Schools are looking for someone who's very comfortable with young children. To be successful with younger learners, schools are looking for outgoing, friendly, energetic teachers who like doing a variety of activities that will match up with the curriculum. Because this is a full-time program and students are young, we prefer to hire teachers on a yearly academic calendar. And for South Korea, the school year begins in March, so most openings are for around March 1st. If you have any other questions about teaching in a kinder program in South Korea with Teacher Tech, please contact Madeline at 224-301-1149, or there's their email below that. And then also we have the Chicago address that you can contact her at.